Greetings, comrades. I am Admiral Andre. Welcome back to episode 9 of our career campaign. It's really a campaign, so here we are, comrades. In the last episode, I saw some of the comments there saying, yes, we should try the snacks mod. So guess what? Today we have the snacks mod. So there it is in the bottom. I've never used this. This is the first time I'm seeing this. I know there's a way you can change the way it works. I'll figure this stuff out. We'll learn together as we go. So with that said, actually let's take care of this before we move on to other things. So it seems there is a new set of parts available here under basic rocketry, so we'll just purchase that. This is the radial snack tin. This tank holds a moderate amount of snacks for your life support needs. Okay, we'll just buy this and then we'll see how much it holds. And this one is the adorable S500 snack tin is perfect for extended excursions. Right, just buy them. So there we go. No other parts here yet anyway, which is good. Right, so the next thing, comrades, there was also a comment about possibly using what is it called, the base? It's a base mod that adds base components for building on planets and so on. And when I looked at that, I thought, this could be something really interesting. I have played with that mod many times before, but not enough to remember the full name apparently. So then I thought, well, there's also another mod. It introduces stalker-like station parts. And I've also used that on my own before for space stations, and it has inflatable parts and spinning parts and all of that. Then I thought, no, hold on. Things are getting a bit out of hand, especially because the developers have just shared another, well, it's been 2 days or a day or so, another video about revamped textures on Duna. So I think the next update 1.8 is close to being released, so I think we'll hold off on any further mods right now. Especially there was also another suggestion about using scatterer and so on. I think we'll stay away from that for now. The real problem for me is just I don't want an update to happen and then suddenly things are broken. I think snacks will work anyway. It will obviously also need to be updated, but it should still work. I can't see how the textures will change it, but definitely something like scatterer might change. Final Frontier, X-Science, all of those should still work, but of course then we start the whole cycle all over again, and now we have to find updates for everything, etc., etc. So that's as I said before, the one pain about mods is that you always have to search for the new editions after an update, and then of course things can break, etc. Anyway, let me have, this might shock you, comrades, let me have some tea tonight. It's about 8 p.m. here, so I think tea is probably the best way to go. Right, I don't really have a preference. Tea and coffee are both excellent and they both have their place and time. Right, comrades, there was also, just before I forget, there was another comment about me possibly starting a Reddit. I don't know, if there's really a demand for something like that, I will look into it. It seems easy enough to start a custom Reddit page, but I don't know if that's really going to be used at the moment. But anyway, I again am at the mercy of the court there. Then the final point of procedural matters and so on is there was a question about Twitch. People were trying to find me on there and they couldn't. I do have a page there, but I've never streamed through Twitch. I've only had the one stream on YouTube before. I don't really, I have to admit here, comrades, I'm a total noob in terms of things like that, especially Twitch and so on. I don't really know what the value of Twitch is, or then people are starting to talk about Mixer now that obviously Ninja has moved over to that, and etc, etc. But for me so far, well, in the one experience I've had streaming just through YouTube seemed to work well, so maybe we'll keep doing it that way. Again, there I would love to see your feedback, because again, I don't know what I'm doing in that respect with the whole streaming thing. Anyway, it's just another point there, so that's why probably people couldn't find me, because there is a page there for me, but there's nothing on it, so I guess Twitch won't really recognize that. Now, next to the next, you see, I'm mixing my words again. It happens so often, but anyway, to the next piece, step in our journey. That's better. Now we're finally getting somewhere. To the next part of our journey, we want to do today a flyby of Minmus and also an impactor mission for Minmus. So that's the order of the day. Now, of course, we just check again our contracts. Is there something we can do in support of that? There's the two satellites. There's the satellite for Minmus, but this is beyond us right now. I think we'll just focus on Minmus flyby and impactor. Now, as we get into the VAB, you're going to see something else. I added another mod. Yes, I know. This should hopefully not mess things up. This is just, again, the Restock mod. Then I thought, now that we're getting with the snacks and all of that, why don't I just go back to Restock? Here you'll have to let me know what you think. I did not take the Restock Plus mod, so this is purely giving all of the parts a slight revamp, to make them look a little bit better. So anyway, let me know what you think. If you don't like it, I can easily just delete it. It's not going to affect anything. So that's really what I have to be careful about with our mods, so that we don't affect fundamental things in the game. Anyway, back to our mission. So in this case, I think it is probably going to be better to take the mission that we had already, that was Pioneer 1, and just have a look at this. Now, of course, things will be slightly different because of the Restock mod, so I can just click and change it slightly. Maybe I'll use the black stripes for the top one. There's a bit of clipping there. Right, so what engines do you have? I think this is still the Terrier, but it looks different now. Let's just see what the other options are. What if I take the boat tail? What does that look like? No, just go back to the normal one. It does have a slight clipping for that. That's interesting. Of course, easily fixed. There's another one. Oh dear. Suddenly Restock has gone down a few points, but anyway, the performance should be the same. I had to delete the Real Plume mod because Restock brings its own engine effect, so there's a clash there, so I had to do that. Now I think for Pioneer 1, this will now obviously be Pioneer 2. We can leave the whole thing exactly the same. This should still have the ability to fly by Minmus in terms of Delta V. I hope so. We'll see. I think it had a bit extra last time. So there's of course the goo container, and now the science parts will look a little different. I see the batteries of course will also be different. So in this case, what do I do here now? I think actually I'll undo that, because we had the lights on the side of the stock batteries, but in this case the lights are pointing a different way. I'll just move them in. That's fine. It's the easiest solution. Just whatever works the quickest is the best here, because it doesn't really matter. Now I'll just put the barometer like that. I think it is upside down, so I'll try and swing it around. That looks the right way up. Yes, the cloud is upside down. Now of course in space there's no up or down really, but still for us, just to make it a little better. Now here of course I don't want to just use the Probodobodine Steputnik, and it does look a little different. I see we have another bit of clipping here. Restock is losing points in my book. Don't want clipping. Maybe we'll dump Restock. Then I'll just add the real plume again. Then we'll just use stock parts. But anyway, that solves it. It's easy enough. Then of course I have to just put this back on. And now we can use an action group for the antennas, action group 1. And I'll leave this one, but we, underneath that, where we have the inline reaction wheel, I'll put, that just solves the clipping anyway. I'll put the octo. So it's a little bit of extra mass, 100 kilograms. I think we will make it still, hopefully, but we can try. That makes it look a bit more advanced than the previous Pioneer. This one also has different options now. Let's use the gold one, or the silver, that looks nice. With the Sputnik you can use the basic one, but you can also have no attachments like the real Sputnik one basically, but for this it won't make any sense, so we'll put it back like this. Okay, save that for now, and I just want to go back. Well, here we can also probably make a change. This is one of the positives of Restock. It gives you different appearances for all the engines. Like this, we now have a boat tail, which looks a bit better for a first stage like that. I'll go with this for now. Right, so I think it's the other thing now. This doesn't have a parachute on it, so I'll just quickly do that. Of course, this looks different as well, but there's no new parts there. Oh, come on. Just one side. Okay, now that should work. We'll get a few bucks back. That's a good thing. Now I think that green arrow is in the middle. Right, that'll work. Save it again. So, next step, I have to go back to our list of names, comrades. So, I will be back in one moment. Okay, comrades, Pioneer 2 will be named after Uncle Mike. And I certainly encourage you to check out his YouTube channel as well. He is also doing a series on KSP right now. It's easy to find the link. He usually leaves a comment on the series on the video, so you can just find him there. Uncle Mike. So that is your craft. I'll just save it again, and from the desert, of course, we'll go back to our usual programming. Now, some more tea, please. Right, so it's just about sunrise here. I just want to make sure we put this on hibernate again. Auto, and the same with this one. Oop. This will also have reaction wheels, so we have a little bit extra now. Right, so that solves it. Now in this case I'm going to speed this launch up a little bit and just play some music for you, just for a bit of variety again. So I will see you in space if we make it, comrades. Good luck, comrade. Yep, same story. I thought this would happen. It's fine, we can recover easily from this. We'll just have to wait until we climb a little bit. And back to your regular scheduled programming. Welcome to orbit, comrades. We were pushing some serious G's there. It's a good thing there were no occupants on this craft, but anyway, here we are. Right, so now it should be much easier to plot our course. Of course, last time we had to do this without the maneuver nodes and without the SAS, so this should certainly be easier. So set this as the target. Also, I forgot last time to look, what was it that was the first to reach the influence of the sun? Now, if I put the... it's interesting. Somewhere in the tracking station it will have to show us. Well, I'm sure it was the upper stage of that first flyby. Anyway. Right, so in the case of Minmus, I find it usually the easiest to just plot the course for the ascending and descending nodes. Now usually, of course, you would go and say, okay, it's there right now, so we'll aim to meet it there, and then we just have to do an inclination change along the way. But I just do it here. It's much easier, just right on the actual nodes, whichever is going to be the one where it goes next, and then I just change the time of the orbit. So let's just see. Now, of course, there we'll just have to bring this back. There it is. So just basically like that. And then, of course, we could make further adjustments, but I just want to flyby high over Minmus. Anywhere is fine. Now, that is 300. That's perfect. So obviously the impactor will give us the data low over Minmus. And this is 27 minutes from now, 20 seconds burn. Let's speed up time. And I want some more tea, of course. This is not really any fancy kind of tea. This is just normal Ceylon tea. In Australia, I used to buy different kinds of tea. It was very easy because they sold these little boxes, so you could try many different kinds. What were some of them? I have to think. The one was like a very smoky flavor. That was quite interesting, but I've forgotten the name now. Anyway, all kinds of infused teas, and anyway. But I think still my favorite tea would be rooibos tea, because that is grown only here in South Africa, so it's a local tea. You can just search it if you are interested. Rooibos, R-O-O-I-B-O-S, rooibos tea. No caffeine in that, but right now I tend to want caffeine, so anyway. Right, ignite. There we go. So I took another step also in the journey towards the next stream, whenever that will be, because I was thinking, right, I have the camera now, I have some kind of a system of attaching the microphone now as well, so it's at least a little bit easier. I don't have to sit hunched in front of the screen, because anyway then the camera is useless. So now I just need, oops, that was quick, that just flew by. No, we have to swing retrograde. Just have to do this very slowly. Even that's fine, it doesn't matter where, just high over Minmus. So there we go. And then I'm going to F5 and just separate that thing. Just check if we're still good, we're still good. And now I can extend the antennas as soon as this thing clears the way there. Didn't put it on a key, it seems. Oh well. Extend. So anyway, back to the story about the stream thing. I thought, well, now I need a light, because the lighting isn't quite good enough. And I found also that if you leave sort of the default settings on your webcam, it does get a bit laggy and so on. And the reason is because it has a kind of low light compensation on it, which is not good for the responsiveness. So I had to toy around until I found out exactly what was going on there. But then I also realized I don't have to pay £200 for a light. I have a very cheap old LED desk lamp thing that sort of folds into itself, that I bought in Australia many years ago. Well, how long ago was it now? 7 years ago was when I left Australia. Anyway, so I still have that, and it's a USB light, so I just plug it in and it works very well. It's obviously not totally a professional setup and all of that. I'm not one of those, like I said last time, I don't got money like that. So anyway, but it will help, certainly. So every step is a leap forward, to paraphrase Neil Armstrong. Anyway, but I think the next stream will probably be the next weekend. I think, maybe. Not this weekend, because I still have to spend time to prepare for my lectures next week. And of course, the week itself is not going to be so easy. But anyway, oh, that's another point of order, as it were. Yes, I just made a comment last time on the previous video that if I'm going to skip a day in the recording, because obviously I'm doing it every day now, and that's obviously not going to be forever sustainable. There will be times when I have to skip a day, especially next week, as I said. Then I will notify everyone by using the community tab. So if you just go to the home page of the channel, there's of course the community tab at the top, and there I can easily just post, okay guys, we'll skip today, or whatever the case. Then you know, that's much more professional, as they say, so I can be improving my YouTube skills, as it were. I think it's good. So then people know, okay, there's going to be a day missed and so on, just so it's better for keeping people informed, which is a good thing, I think. Right, we're here, comrades. I've spoken so much. We flew 15 days. I've been speaking for 15 days. Anyway, now hopefully we get a good connection. We still do. It's obviously not full strength at a level 2 tracking station, but anyway, we just have to keep an eye on our electric charge. Now, we've never been to Minmus before, so this is a first. Uncle Mike is showing us the way. And also I have to say, his new series, he called his unmanned probes the Comrade probes, and that's obviously after me, so I think it's only fair that we have a craft named in his honor as well. So anyway, observe the goo. Speak to me. You feel like eating the goo. Not sure about that one. Transmit, please. Now we also see it's purple. At least more details there anyway. I think we'll keep the restock for now. It just makes it a little different as well. You've seen the stock graphic so many times in your life. Maybe this will be just to give this series a slightly different feel anyway. But still stock, but just a different coat of paint. Log the temperature. Measuring is quite impossible, etc., etc. And barometer 0. Now, of course, this is very high over Minmus, but we do know from real life that there is no hard boundary between an atmosphere and space. It just gets thinner and thinner and thinner. So now we can deduce that Minmus probably does not have an atmosphere, because we don't detect any trace of it. Anyway, I'm role-playing, of course. Do we get CurbNet with this? We do. That was another thing. I keep now, you know, it's good. I keep reminding myself. There was also a suggestion that I try, well, a couple of different mods. One of them was ScanSat, so I could find the anomalies. The good thing though is CurbNet does allow that, so I think we'll just use CurbNet for now. So anyway, we'll send specific satellites to detect the anomalies, but I know ScanSat is also so good, but you know, it snowballs completely out of control if I keep adding more and more and more mods, but maybe I will, I don't know. As usual, I will rely heavily on your feedback, comrades. Anyway, I think that completes this mission. That's all really we have here, so this will now go where exactly? Wait a minute, let me just see here. No, it's gonna miss it, so it'll keep going in this very elliptical orbit for the rest of time until it hits either the sphere of the moon or Minmus, and then who knows, it's anybody's guess. So your lifetime is now done. This probe is finished. So now let's move to the impactor. Thank you, Uncle Mike. That was a great success. Space Center, actually tracking station. I want to see what was the thing that escaped the influence of Kerbal. Because is there anything? It doesn't look like there's really anything. This is all orbiting Kerbal. Or of course on an escape trajectory out of Minmus. But there's nothing, and this is the debris included. So that was a bug, I think. It has to be, unless it was an asteroid that entered and left again. Of course, we can't track asteroids yet, but that's the only thing that makes sense, that it entered the sphere of influence of Kerbal and then left, and then somehow the world's first things thought that was actually our craft. But clearly, nothing of ours has left Kerbal. Oh well. Orbiting Minmus. Now it's obviously also just on an escape trajectory. Anyway, next mission. And the next mission is going to be for the impactor. I just want to see again the contracts. Temperature of the moon. Well, we grab it because now we have another one. Measure the temperature, blah, blah, blah. We'll just grab that. That's the same as the others. So I think we have 5 now that we're going to do with a single satellite eventually. Right, so back to the drawing board. So that rocket worked very well. Of course, this is a very light payload. And that's basically all of our science. Everything looks a little bit different now. I just have to keep an eye on that. There's the Science Junior again. I actually want to come back to this, but I just want to save this again, overwrite that, open up Excalibur. It's obviously alphabetical. Right, now why are there 2 of them? I guess this is the one that I named. Okay, Excalibur 1. So in this case, again, we're not using the Science Junior yet. This will be for another Zond 5 type of flyby. I just want to place it here for a moment to show you. Now, of course, if we open the doors, there is the creature that I was talking about, that kind of octopus thing. So it just adds a lot more detail. There's crystals, there's a plant back there, there's like a rock. This looks like it was taken from the magic boulder. There's a slice of bread. Anyway, it's interesting, and of course there's the living sample as well. So anyway, but we don't do that for this mission. Now we have all the same data or equipment again. We will just take it in low flight over Minmus, and I see it just needs a slight adjustment. The battery doesn't quite look. It's because it sort of fills up that gap there. I think what I'm going to do is I'll just rotate the battery. But of course that's going to rotate the whole craft, but that's alright, we can fix that. See, this side looks alright, but oh well, it's not going to survive anyway. And there it is, back to normal again. Yes, just this little piece here, but I guess it's a custom built thing, but you know, then the lines look a little bit wobbly there, but it's alright, it doesn't really matter, of course. Now, can I do this again? I must have used the wrong key last time. Right, just to double check that. Okay, now this is Excalibur 2. And who's next on the list? Right, the next comrade on the list is Comrade Will Be. So this will be your first mission. Of course, we will have more. So this will be an impactor of Minmus. Is that all that we need really? Yes, I just want to flip the barometer over again. It's easier to see that it's upside down because it has a cloud. The other one, of course, does not. Then let's check the whole thing. I think it might also work if I put the engine onto that stage, so the engine fires the second this separates. That might help it to not flip over, hopefully. And of course I just want to add the boat tail again. And I think that's it. It has its parachute. We fire that, we separate that. Right, Excalibur 2 will be save and desert again. Is there any more tea? Yes. Right. Is this on hibernation? Yes. Good, so at least we're reusing this kind of model, you know, design. It's now black there, but that's fine. It's a different kind of design for an impactor. Anyway, we'll do the same. We'll speed this up again. So I will see you in orbit. Good luck, comrade. Right, here we are, comrades. It certainly helped better. We did not flip over, so having the engine fire straight away helps, of course, to compensate for any sort of drift caused by the aerodynamic forces. So yes, also I saw a few comments. One was saying about using reusable rockets, and another good suggestion was using sort of Soviet-style rockets and capsules for tourists. I think those are all good suggestions. Right now we're not quite at that level yet, because of course if I want to use the Soviet type things, I would like them to look a bit nicer, you know, have the slightly larger fairings. Of course we don't have any fairings yet, and a few other bits and pieces. But yes, absolutely, I think those are good ideas. But we'll use the Soviet type parts for many different kinds of missions as well. The totally reusable rockets are completely, of course, out of my league at the moment, because again I'm kind of role-playing as well, so it's going to take a little while before we get to something like that. I'd also like to attempt, at least, you know, it's an attempt to make a kind of SSTO at some point. That's of course Matt Lowndes' bread and butter and his kind of speciality. I have never, well, that's not the truth. I have once managed to achieve actually building a plain SSTO. I have done rocket SSTOs before, but yes, that was way before, and they used a different kind of aerodynamic model back in those days. So I struggle with SSTOs, but we'll try and build one together. Now, is this too late? I think, wait a minute. Yes, maybe? No, yes, that's way too late already. What if we slightly turn this a bit? Right, that's still fine. I'll make a correction at that point. No, by that time we have to do an inclination change. If I can avoid it, I will. Right, 4 days at great speed. We'll be flying past there, but we certainly do have the fuel, so this is all good still, as long as we make it to the sphere of influence of Minmus. And this will be in 20 minutes. Just get us more or less in the right place. It will be so much easier when we have all of the different orientation keys there. But anyway, we are hibernating now. And there we go. Okay, up. Going a little too fast there. Burn. 4 Gs going on to 5 Gs, but that's alright. It's uncrewed. Okay, let's bring it down a little. Okay, I think we'll do the rest from the map view. Okay, that's fine, as long as we make it there. Although, I can probably make the corrections now already. No, not 13 seconds from now. I just need a view of Minmus. And now we start playing around with the keys. Otherwise, the problem is going to be we'll enter into an orbit around Minmus if I make the correction in the sphere of influence of Minmus, which I don't want to do yet. Right, there's the impact. Now, this is in 1 minute, just 2 seconds, but I'll do it 4 seconds. Otherwise, again, the G-forces get a little crazy. Careful of that. Right, so 2 seconds before we'll go 50%. And do the rest here. Now, of course, I still have to separate the stage, but that seems to be fine. Separate and see what the difference was. Okay, good. We're on our way, comrades. So I'll just press the number 1 key again now. It's still too far. Anyway. So, there we go. F5 this, although there's nothing I can do now. I should have done that before I separated. So let's go to Minmus. Okay, here we are, comrades. Now the case is one of just observing our science again. Now this is high over the lowlands. Does that mean we get different ones depending on which biome we are high over? I thought that would just apply to low over Minmus. Interesting. Maybe I can just do a temperature scan. No, it does actually apply. Okay, this thing wasn't up to date yet. That sometimes seems to happen. That sort of thing only does happen over the low space. Right, get us there. See, every time we change biome, even though it's irrelevant high over Minmus, it takes me out of time warp. Okay, F5 again. I wonder if we'll get new textures for Minmus as well. Should be interesting. Perhaps even for Kerbal in the next update. And now for this we might not have much time. But anyway, here we go, near. So this should be good. Minmus is cold. Ice cream is cold. Coincidence? You hope not. Transmit immediately. Atmospheric scan 0. So now we definitely have a confirmation that there is no atmosphere over Minmus. And the mystery goo observation. The goo sticks to the Minmus side of the container. It appears to be attracted to the tiny moon. You wonder if the goo is hungry too. That's a nice one. And oh, not enough charge. Oh, good grief. That's a shame. Well, we'll do that then next time. Some kind of minor malfunction with the probe, we'll pretend. But it still gave us good data and close-up pictures of Minmus. Right, Comrade Wilby, we'll see now your spectacular craft ending here. At least you got a puff of smoke. Last time we didn't even get that. Anyway, it was still a success. Let's just have a look at our messages. There we go. Excalibur 2 will be crashed into Minmus. Just close that. I don't want to revert. Stage 2, that was Pioneer to Uncle Mike debris. We got that money back. This upper stage as well. We have initiated the first flyby of Minmus. That's great. We've gathered the first scientific data from Minmus, and of course the previous flyby also escaped the gravitational influence. Then the new rocket that we just launched, we got the first stage back and the upper stage, and no further accomplishment. So that's the good thing about the Impactor. It doesn't count as an orbit. I want that to be a separate kind of achievement for us. So it's literally just an impact, so a hyperbolic type of orbit, but one that of course intersects with the object. Right, so I think that's the 2 missions for today. I just also want to mark off our master plan and see rescue Simone. Not sure. Simone. That's the thing with names I find hard to pronounce. Samemone. I don't know. Let me know, comrade. Should we rescue comrade Samemon anyway from orbit or not? Anyway, we still have to design the 2-person capsule first. But of course, now we have more science, so let's do this first. Can I just get one? Yes. So let's see which one. Well, something would it's to be said for getting the docking port, but no, not yet. The hitchhiker is a good thing, but also not yet. It's still too premature for that. More heat shields, bigger parachutes, not really yet. Maybe. More airplane parts perhaps, with the turboshaft engines, propeller blades. I've never used those, so I don't really know how they work. Tiny nose cones. Maybe. Advanced construction. I think this is the way that we'll go. So we get nose cones, we get our first fairing. We also get a bigger fairing, so I can use this for the Soyuz kind of craft, and one that we can use with the Gemini type of craft as well. So I think that's the way I'll go. So buy that. That was extremely expensive, 61 million bucks, because of all the robotics parts. I still have to find ways of using those creatively. And there's another snack tin as well. But yes, let's just go to our master plan now and just tick off the things that we have to. So just a nice thick green line, because that makes everybody happy. And so not lunar orbiter yet. It's the same thing, but I'll make 2 tick marks just so we know. So that was of course another impactor. And of course we got all this data again for Minmus. And of course the flyby as well. Then we know. So this one is complete, and this one is also complete. So we're now finished with the lunar-mooner flybys and impactors. Of course we still have to do flybys of planets and all of that. Now the next episode will be a Minmus flyby with bioscience. Then I'll also use the goo canister again. I just have to remember, because obviously the battery ran out, so we'll bring that back. Then we can start probably with the lunar orbiter program, or with the crew program with this 2-person capsule. And there we can also start to include some tourists. So I don't think I'll use certain capsules exclusively with tourists, but we'll still get to the kind of Vostok, Voskhod, etc. And of course the Soyuz type capsules. Anyway, that's it for now, comrades. I hope you've enjoyed. Do please leave me your comments. I do see all of them. And we will do the next episode again tomorrow if all goes well. Right, so it's just a few things I do need some feedback on. The one was, do you think it's worthwhile to start a Reddit page for us, for our comrades? The second one is, what do you think about the Restock mod? I probably will add that kind of base mod plus the space station stock-alike parts mod, but I'll wait for the update, the 1.8 update, which I'm sure is coming very soon. And we're not using them now anyway yet. We're only starting out at this moment. And was there anything else? I don't know. Oh yes, the whole Twitch thing. What do you think? Is it better to just stream on YouTube in the future, or should I try going onto Twitch as well? Anyway, I'll see you next time, comrades. I do hope you're having a fantastic week and a fantastic day, and it's a good thing tomorrow is Friday, so I hope you will have a happy and fantastic day. See you soon, comrades.